Hey Kevin, hope you're doing well. Just wanted to make this quick video for you, just sort of recapping your lesson from the other day. You'll notice the video on the left is the swing that you made before any instruction was given, and the video on the right was after we talked about a few concepts. I want you to notice the difference in these two address positions. On the right, you can see you've got much more weight forward. You've got your hips slid toward the target, sort of in this fashion here. You got the handle of the golf club leaning more toward the target. You've got your feet flared out more in about 20 degrees here and sort of in this direction here. So we've also got straighter arms and less or no cupping of the left wrist. If you look over here on the left, you can see how your left wrist is sort of dorsiflexed there. Two completely different starting positions there, and we're in a much better position on the right to hit the golf ball. But I want to play these, play these for you one at a time. If you look here on the left, as you start to, let me back up for a second. I've drawn a box starting down around your ankles that extends up toward the top of your head. And what this box kind of shows us is where your weight distribution is and sort of where your body's center of mass is throughout the swing. And if you'll remember from from our teachings, the players that can keep this upper axis here stable, the center of your shoulders and sort of the center of your pelvis, these two axes stable and not have them moving around in the golf swing in either direction. The players who can control that the best are the players who can strike the ground in the same spot time and time again more consistently. So that's one of the things that we worked on with you during your first lesson. So again, here on the left as we play it, you can see as the club is moving back, your body is moving away from the target to the right, and at the top of your backswing here, you've actually shifted a lot of your weight in this direction to the right. And we've also severely bent this left arm, and once again, this bending of the left elbow was one of the ways that we can change or skew the low point of our swing, because the left arm being extended is what gives us the radius of our swing arc. And since we're starting with a relatively straight arm at address, when we establish our address position, it needs to be pretty much constant throughout the golf swing. It's okay if it bends slightly, but this is I would consider this excessive, and this is going to cause a power leak in your golf swing, and it's going to make ball striking very, very inconsistent. If you look here on the right, one of the things that how I described this pattern to you was really by using 10 keywords. Those 10 keywords again were, weight forward, shoulder down. What I mean by that is the left shoulder working straight down in the backswing, and what that does is gets us into lateral flexion. And what I mean by that is that at address you're tilted forward, and we want to move from a forward tilt directly into a leftward tilt as we turn and extend our shoulders. You'll also notice that the right knee will straighten and the left knee will flex and rotate slightly in toward the golf ball. Okay, I'm going to play that for you here. So you can see the left shoulder is working more down. Still, I would still like to see it moving more down, more side bend here. The left arm is a little bit straighter, much straighter actually. Right knee is straightened, left knee has flexed, the weight has stayed forward. Notice how your body is still, proportionally outside of that box that's drawn on the screen, or it's still left. And that's one of the reasons why you're able to maintain the low point of the swing much better. I'm also maintaining that straight left arm, and I believe I had you in an abbreviated swing on this particular video. Maybe this was a drill that I had you doing. This wasn't quite a full swing, just trying to get you to feel the correct motion. But again, as the downswing initiates, it's initiated by the left knee, left hip pushing forward as the arms start to drop. Okay, and you'll see. Let me get some of this stuff off the screen. You can see that your hips on the left here, they really don't push forward. They just sort of reestablish their address position. Your left knee will start to straighten and your hips just spin, and your hips actually back up a little bit. And because of that, the club path kicks to the left of the target. And remember, that leftward club path in conjunction with a slightly open club face relative to that path is what causes the ball to slice to the right. Okay? We wanted you to produce a club path slightly into out with a club face closed, open to the target, but closed relative to that club path. And the only way to do that is to have the body's centers of gravity forward, creating swing geometry that produces a path that's out to the right. And the weight forward, the most forward, the handle the most forward, helps to produce that geometry. So if you look at the swing here on the left, we should see the left knee move forward. We should see the hips continue to push forward while the arms are dropping. So again, still, arms are dropping much better, much straighter. The hips are slightly more forward than on the left. Still not quite far enough forward, but we get into a tremendously better impact position. So if you'll notice, and I'm just going to kind of take everything off the screen here. You'll notice these are the two impact positions. Let me actually get you there on the left. There's impact. So on the left, we have the handle of the golf club actually leaning backwards. On the right, we actually have the handle of the golf club leaning forward. Okay, we have the weight more on our left side at impact over here on the right. We have much straighter arms. We've controlled our wrist angles much better. Whereas on the left, we're sort of flipping. We have weight, you're probably 50-50 here. But the video here on the left, the club path is going to the left, the ball is going to be slicing. Club path on the right here is moving out to the right. The ball is definitely drawing. So these are some pretty dramatic changes in your very, very first lesson here. So again, I'm going to give you just here in a second a couple of drills to work on, but I want to put up a swing of a tour player here. Alright, this is a video of Charlie Wee here on the left, and I've drawn that same box starting down around his ankles and extending upward. You can see his weight is forward, and I'm going to just play this through for you so you can see how his shoulders are working downward, his weight is staying forward, his arms are staying straight. He gets to the top of his backswing, his weight is still forward. And now I really want you to key in, this is a big piece that you're missing here, his lower body action. As he starts down, his left knee and his left hip are going to lead the way. They're going to push forward. He's going to press into his left leg as the club drops. So that when he gets into impact, if you take a look at your position and his position, you can see his lower body is considerably more forward than yours, and he has, a little bit straighter arms and more forward shaft lean. Again, those arms will continue to stay straight through the shot. As your shoulders kind of stop and the wrist angles flip. Again, so, weight forward, shoulder down, arms in, arms straight, tuck tailbone. What I mean by tucking the tailbone is you can see here that Charlie has pushed his hips forward into the follow through. He's extended his spine and he's tucked his tailbone underneath him. Okay, Kevin, here on the left, we have the drill that I want you to do. I want you to take to the range. So again, it's weight forward, shoulder down, arm straight, hands in, tuck tailbone. And this is an abbreviated swing. Your focus is really going to be on maintaining straight arms, keeping your weight forward, and pushing your hips forward in the downswing. So you can see that it's an abbreviated swing. My left arm basically goes to about parallel to the ground. Hips are pushing forward, arms are staying straight, all the way to the finish. and the finish is going to be abbreviated as well. I want you to stop your swing at about this point right here, and I want you to make sure that those wrist angles are still intact. The right arm flying wedge, and what I mean by that is the angle that's formed between the right arm and the shaft. That angle right there we call the flying wedge, and that angle should be intact prior to impact, at impact, slightly past impact, and gently into the follow-through. That angle will start to release or come out when the right arm reaches parallel to the ground. But I want you to stop your finish and hold your finish at about right here and just check that wrist angle to make sure it's still there. Make sure those elbows are still tight together, they're still pinching together, and that your weight is forward. You should have about 95% of that weight on that left leg at the finish. So anyways, I want you to take this drill to the range, and I want you to hit several hundred balls. If you can hit this shot solidly every single time with straight arms and your weight forward, you're going to be well on your way to hitting very good golf shots. Call me if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you soon.